Morning you guys, it's Karen, and I thought as a bit of a follow-on to my recent hair tips and tricks video, I would tell you what my favourite tools are, so straightening tools, curling tongs, hair dryers, and also products. And as it happens, all the products that I've chosen here are cruelty-free. So I'll start with the products and end up with the tools. Some of these you'll be familiar with because I've talked about them recently, and some I can give you updates on things like that. The first thing to tell you about is the Herbal Essences Daily Detox Clean. This is the Golden Raspberry and Mint. I've bought another one of these, but it's not golden raspberry and mint, it's something else and mint. I think it's white tea and mint. So I'm loving this, and I'm quite happy to use this over and above my Tresemme. You guys know I have been hardcore Tresemme deep cleansing shampoo forevermore, and if they became cruelty free, I would definitely use the Tresemme one. I feel like my hair is slightly more squeaky clean when using that versus using this. This doesn't quite strip it as much as I want it to. Conditioners, I have three, so I've got quite a nice little choice here. The Sun Swim and Gym that I've already told you about by Boots. This is just amazing for dry damaged hair. This smells like argan oil. You can see I am nearly out of this bottle, but I've got another one. This just leaves it so soft, so tangle free. It just sinks into your hair, which I love, so love that one. And then I've talked about this Get a Smooth On. This one just smells amazing. It doesn't smell like the usual. Oh, it smells so delicious. I can't think what it smells of. It's almost got a bit of a vanilla smell in it. It doesn't smell like the usual Soap and Glory stuff, but this is really, really nice. And when I use this, it's funny because my hair feels amazing for the first kind of day and a half. It feels so soft, softer than anything else, you know, than when I've used any other conditioner, really tangle free, etc, etc. But that doesn't last as long as it does with the other conditioners. Like I find by the end of day 2 my hair's getting a little bit tangly, so yeah, the effect doesn't last, but it is a really nice conditioner. And then the final one is this, and this is the one that I can update you on because you can see I have now used some. So it's the Noughty 97% natural to the rescue. This is the Moisture Boost Conditioner. So I had hunted around for this brand. This is leaking and I don't know what I've done with my tissues. And eventually found some in Superdrug. I think there's other ones that I could use, but they only had even in Superdrug a small amount. You can get them on Boots online, but I wanted to see, you know, what they smell like and just see them in person. And so I bought this one, and it is nice and thin, which I like. I don't like the smell of this. I think the smell is that typical fake coconut smell, which I really detest. It's in a lot of fake tans, it's in a lot of hair care, and I don't like the smell at all. But I don't mind that because this was really, really good. This gave me lovely soft hair. You can't see too much because I've got it up, but this is what the last conditioner that I used, and my hair felt lovely and detangled. Didn't need to use too much because it was one of those that soaks in, you know, you couldn't see clumps of it on your hair. Really enjoyed this. So it's the Moisture Boost Conditioner for frizzy and damaged hair. So like I said, I think there's another one in the Noughty range that I could try, so I might well order that online if I can't find it in the shops. Product wise, what I like to use on my hair is after I have washed and towel dried it, I like to use a leave-in conditioner or a leave-in serum or oil or something just to add to the detangling effect. And I also like to use something to give it volume because my hair's very, very thick. It's hard to find a product that will give it volume and hold. And the best product for me is this one, and it's the Living Proof Perfect Hair Day 5-in-1 styling treatment. I don't use it all the time because it's expensive, and so I tend to use mousses in between that. And this is where I've got that sort of gap. I really want to find a cruelty-free mousse. Is fine, you know, mousse tends to be the thing that works the best. It gives you that volume and hold. But this, if not, will be my kind of holy grail, or this is my holy grail, and if it was less expensive I would use it all the time. For the leave-in oil / conditioner, again, I don't really have a favourite one of those, but I do like oils, and this is one that I enjoy. This is the Moroccan oil. Smells like typical kind of argan oil, lovely smell, and yeah, I've been using this for years actually, and I had to check if they were cruelty free, and it seems like they were then, they weren't then, they were, but they seem to be cruelty free now. Bear in mind, I'm saying all of these are cruelty free, and I'm not yet at hair care, and so I've only briefly looked, but as far as I can see, they're all cruelty free. So that's my volume and leave-in product, and then I like to have a night serum to use, and I showed you this recently that I repurchased this. This is Charles Worthington Moisture Seal Overnight Ultimate Hair Healer. So I just put this in, for example, you know how I said when I use this conditioner, 1.5 days later or 2 days later my hair's feeling a bit tangly, I will put some of this in at night, kind of on the ends, and that will get me through another full day. So that's really good. And there's the PhD, what do you call them? Living Proof, not PhD. There's a Living Proof one of those called Nightcap, which is also really nice. The other two things that I like to have are, one, a kind of smoothing balm, I suppose you would call it. Something to put in your hair. Oh, this bit of hair is annoying me. Something to put in your hair to smooth frizzes after you've blow dried it, so when it's dry, but also, you know, when I sometimes do that little plait in the front of my hair, something to sort of hold the hair together. And so this is the one I've been loving, and it's called Umberto Gianni Updo Styling Balm. I will link this on Amazon for you. I think that's the only place I can find it now. I can't get this in Boots anymore. But this is my second tube, and I absolutely love this because there's lots of products that I've got, and I sometimes will even just grab a little bit of leave-in conditioner. I've got a really thick leave-in conditioner there and try and smooth my hair down, but it never lasts. But with this, it does, it lasts. It actually holds all these little, you know, if you've got little bits sticking up, you can smooth them down with this, and it smells amazing. So I love that. And the final thing is a hairspray. And actually I was looking at all of my hairsprays. So I've got quite a few. I've got L'Oreal ones, I've got a TG one, I've got a Shockwaves one. You know, I've got quite a few, and I kind of knew that most of those wouldn't be cruelty free, but I was looking at them thinking, which is my favourite? And I was like, I know exactly what my favourite is. It's this one. Let me find out if they're cruelty free, and to my amazement they are. And this has been my favourite hairspray for years. The only thing I would say is it does malfunction. Like, I love the fact that it's not got a top on it. That is so me. I am that person. I'm that impatient or lazy or whatever you call it. I don't like to have to take a top off, mostly because I'll take the top off and put it down somewhere and lose it. And then I think the bottle looks odd sitting there without a top on, but whereas with this, you can just grab it. But I suspect that's why it malfunctions, because what happens is this gets all dry, and you can go to spray, you know, I can go to spray it here and it actually sprays in my eye or something like that. So you need to make sure every time you use it, you kind of scratch off any dried hairspray. And I did have one bottle that just completely stopped working, and I could tell there was some in it. This is the strongest hairspray I've ever used, and I've got the TG Bedhead. Now, I'd prefer a non-aerosol. If this was in non-aerosol, it would be absolutely perfect, but they don't. I've only found one non-aerosol, and that's that TG Bedhead, and this is way stronger than that. So I will use this, like, in this bit of my hair, and with this. This is the Kent. It's just got a little bit of a saying on there. It doesn't say exactly what it is, but I use this for back combing. So I would spray a bit of this and back comb just here to give me a little bit of volume, especially when I do that little sort of ponytail up in the center, or, you know, a little plait over the side. It just gives it a bit more volume at the sides, and this is just amazing. Or if I've got my hair down and I want to keep my fringe out my way, I just sort of hold it up and spray a little bit of this at the roots, and it holds it. It's brilliant, and it's only, I don't know, £4 or £5, something like that. So those are my products. Onto tools. Like I said, I've got a couple of brushes. I love this. I'm really embarrassed how filthy it is. I noticed the other day, I thought I need to give that a clean. But the reason it's extra dirty actually is because I was trying one of these one-day colours where you paint it onto dry hair and then you just wash it out, and it's horrible. It gets on everything. Like, even if you're running your hands through your hair, you get it on your hands, and it's on my brush, it's on one of the tools I'm going to show you. It's just everywhere. But I love this. This is the Tangle Teaser with a handle, and I like the Tangle Teasers, but they just weren't easy for me to use, and now this has got a handle. I use this immediately after I have washed my hair and towel dried it, so I just brush it through before I blow dry it, because as you know, I don't use a brush when I'm blow drying my hair. So love that. Before I talk about tools, just two little random things. These are what I use to hold my hair up, and I think it's really important that you don't use too many like tight elastics, or, you know, things that kind of snag on your hair. For example, I do use the tiny little clear elastic bands when I do that little one ponytail, but when I pull it out, my hair's come out with it, and so I wouldn't want to be using something like that for, you know, a ponytail that I probably have my hair up in a pony for most of the time, because I'll put it up when I'm going out with Watson for a walk, I'll put it up when I'm doing housework, I put it up when I'm in the bath, so I have my hair up quite a lot. In fact, my husband was laughing at me yesterday because I put it up in a ponytail, and then the ponytail, you know, folded it in half and it came across here and it looked like I had a sort of weird fringe. He was laughing away as I was trying to talk to him. I was like, well, what is it? So for putting my hair up, I use these, which I think everybody's kind of familiar with, or I've just discovered these, and they are just perfect because they're so soft, and they also fit on your wrist, which I think is lovely because I can always have one on my wrist, and then if I go out, or like when I go for my physio, I need to put my hair up. I'm going to the dentist today, so I'll make sure my hair's off my face, and so I like to wear one on my wrist, and these ones are good for that, but also these. And they've just appeared in Boots, so I'll link those for you. Get them in a pack of 2 black or 2 this kind of neon orange colour. And the final random thing is these are the little charms that I sometimes put in my hair, not very often. I'll need to put a video in or a picture or something of me with them in my hair. And I wanted to show them to you because whenever anybody saw a video with me with them in my hair, you would ask, where did you get those? Where did you get those little gems? They would actually have looked nice all the way around this sort of bun, wouldn't they? But hey ho. So I will link those for you because they're really cute, and it's not very often I can be bothered to do it, but they do look really nice. Okay, onto tools. Another reason I wanted to do this video is because I haven't done a review video of this Dyson hairdryer. I'm not sure why. I suppose I could have done that instead of this video, but I wanted to give you an update because a lot of you are asking how I feel about it now. I adore it. I absolutely love it. It is, I wouldn't say that it's worth the £300 that I spent on it. I don't think any hairdryer is worth that unless it's going to cook me dinner. But that's the price it is, and I don't regret buying it now. I thought that I might regret it, but I don't. It's so fast. For me, that's the biggest advantage. It's so fast. It means that, you know, I've got tennis elbow and golfer's elbow and all the rest of it. Hands, I've got arthritis, and I've now got this new Dupuytren's contracture and all sorts going on. So the less time I have to hold my hand up like this, the better. And this is so quick on my thick hair. So that's the plus for me, but I did use 2 round brushes and dry my hair using this, and it was definitely straighter and it was smoother. It didn't have as many frizzes. I didn't use any, you know how I said I like to use a leave-in balm? I use something like this. It's just the tiniest amount after I blow dry my hair in the way that I'm going to tell you about next, because I use this followed by my round spinning brush. But when I used just this with my round brushes, I didn't need anything. There were no little frizzes sticking up. And the other thing I wanted to tell you, I might have already told you this actually, but my friend bought it. She was asking me about it and she was waiting to see what I thought about it before she went ahead. And at first she was like, oh, I've got a bit of buyer's regret. I have to ask her now how she feels. Now she's had it quite a few weeks, but she said it definitely made her hair straighter, and that would save her time because she normally blow dries her hair and then straightens it. So I think she didn't have to use the straighteners for as long. So I love it. It's nice and lightweight. It's not as heavy as my hairdryer. Plus I don't have to hold it for so long. So it's a winner for me. Okay, like I said, I don't use a brush. I just use my hands to air dry my hair, and then I follow up with this filthy looking thing. The reason this is so filthy, or no, it's not filthy, it's filthy, but it's got a lot of hair in it, is because it does take a lot of hair out when I'm using it, because this is instead of a brush, the same way you'd get hairs in a brush. But when I stop using it, it's baking hot, and so I don't remove the hairs until the next time I'm going to use it, and I remove them just before I use it, if that makes sense. Or does that just sound like an excuse? But it's also covered in red. Can you see? Where I said I used that one day paint on hair colour to see, and I couldn't even see the colour, by the way. All I could see was it on my brush and on this tool. Anyway, this is what I use. So I will use this until my hair is about 80–90% dry, and then I'll use this. And this is just so much easier. For me anyway, it's just so much easier than using a round brush. The only thing is, this, you know, the bristles are starting to flatten out, and I could probably do with buying another one of these, but I wouldn't hesitate. I would not hesitate in buying another one of these. The one with the smaller barrel, this is the 50mm. I considered buying that as well because I thought, well, that would give it a little bit more curl, but it doesn't have as good reviews as this one. So this is the Babyliss New Big Hair. And so you just switch it on. You've got 2 speeds and 2 heats, and then you can spin it either way. So if you're at the back of your hair, you can spin it that way. If you're at the side, you know, which is really handy again, because you don't need to get yourself too tangled up. And like I said, I find that easier than trying to, you know, get a brush in your hair and then put the hairdryer on it. You've just got one tool to control. And using this combined with my Living Proof PhD means that my hair kind of holds its style for about 3 days. So I'm happy with that. On to straighteners. I've got 2 straighteners that I use. I always like to have spare straighteners because they're something I couldn't really live without. And I have 2 different circumstances I use them in. These are my Cloud9 straighteners. I had the GHD and I was die-hard GHD straighteners for many, many years. Then they broke and I went out to get some new ones, and I tried the new GHD ones and I did not like them at all. I can't remember why. I think I might have done a review actually. And somebody suggested the Cloud9, so I got these and I thought, oh, these are amazing. They're really, really lightweight, very easy to use. The only thing is I do feel like with these, there's a couple of things I don't like. One, I feel like I have to hold my hair in these more than I did the GHDs. The GHD, I would run it through like that and it would be straight. With these, I feel like you have to go a bit slower and hold it on your hair a bit more. And in fact, I think somebody pointed that out when I was using these. They were like, you need to do it a bit slower, you're not holding it on your hair long enough. But the GHDs, I didn't need to do that. And the other thing that I don't like about this is to switch it on and to switch it up is inside here. And I'm so clumsy, it means that when I'm going to switch it off or if I'm increasing the heat, I'm gonna catch myself on these plates and burn myself. So that's something else I don't love about it. So for those reasons, this is my travel straighteners because they're much lighter in my suitcase and I do love them, and they're also my backup straighteners if you like. I didn't intend them to be, they were going to be my #1 straightener, but I think I actually got sent those Cloud9 straighteners, which is unusual. I don't normally get sent like expensive things like that. I think that's the only time that's happened. But I had bought these Babyliss ones and then I got the Cloud9 one. And like I said, I thought the Cloud9 one would be my #1, but these are amazing. These are £40 or £39.99, something like that. I'll link them for you. And they're called diamond plates. But this is very heavy. So I only use this at home, and if ever my joints were really painful, I'd probably get the Cloud9 one out and use that one if I was going to straighten all my hair. I tend to only straighten the sides, just this little bit here. I don't like pin my hair up and go through all my hair. I just straighten the sides a little bit. But this one is amazing. It's got the controls on the side. You just press it on like that. You can see that little green flashing lights there, and you can put it on 1, 2 or 3 very easily. Takes a little bit longer to heat up than the Cloud9, but I don't mind that. You just click that off button and it switches off immediately. I really like this. This does a really good job, and I have to run this through my hair for less time than the Cloud9. So I think that's a really nice, affordable straightener. You guys, I wish I could sit and talk to you about hair stuff all day. I've got the dentist in an hour and I'm so nervous, so nervous. I've got retainers. You'll have seen, well, maybe you haven't seen, but I've got videos on here of my teeth were very, very wonky, and I had C-Fast braces done, and I've got a permanent retainer, and all of the kind of glue has come off and one bit split, so I've got to have them repaired today, and it's just, I hate it. You have to keep your mouth open for so long to let the glue dry, and that makes me really panicky. And anyway, random aside there. The final thing to talk about is curling tongs, and I'm often asked about this actually, and I think it's a good question to ask because you may be like me, I cannot get a curl to stay in my hair. It doesn't matter what I use, what product I use, and I don't have anything to show you that is like a spray that I use with my straighteners. I've got several, but I've got no favourites. I did have a favourite product to use with my curling tongs, which was the Bumble and Bumble. It was called Hold It or something like that, but it doesn't exist anymore. I would love to find something. I know Paul Mitchell did one called Hot Off the Press. I tried that, it didn't work. I just feel like my hair doesn't hold a curl and won't hold a curl no matter what I do. If anybody's got any amazing products that you think help hold a curl, please let me know. It does hold a curl when I do my headband curls. So I'll try and remember and link that video for you, because headband curls stay in forevermore. And that's where your hair's a bit damp, wrap it around a headband, sleep in it overnight, and then in the morning it's all curly. Then it would definitely hold a curl. Anyway, so on to curling tongs. Again, I've got two, and I like them both for different reasons, but my number one is this. It's the GHD Curve, this is called, I'm pretty sure. I'll make sure I link the right one for you though, because they've got a couple. I like a clip because I have tried with gloves, without gloves. I've watched videos. I'm just too clumsy to use clipless tongs. I just can't do it. But not only am I too clumsy, the times that I did manage to, you know, put it and wrap my hair around it, I don't know what I did, but my hair looked terrible. I've never been able to get a good style with those type of tongs. So this one is my favourite, the GHD Curve. And this is the one I use most of the time. Now, when I recently curled my hair, I'm sure you'll have seen in one of my recent videos it was curly, I tried this because, did I finish telling you about this? I probably didn't. What do I love about this? I love the fact that it heats up almost immediately. The button is there, so you're not going to get your fingers caught or anything. It's got a clip. There's not much more to tell you about that other than it's expensive. This one isn't quite as expensive, and it's very unique because look, it's got a tiny little clip. And so this is also, it's a bit of a gadget in that you can turn it, there's 3 different levels that you can put how high you want the heat. So you can have the bottom one on 1, 2 or 3, the middle one on 1, 2 or 3, and the top one on 1, 2 or 3. I always just use them on 3, but the idea would be that if you switched the bottom one to 1, say, I don't know whether that would be there or there, you could have more beachy waves because it wouldn't curl the bottom bit as much. Do you see what I mean? You can get different styles, but I've never used it for that. I've always used it on 3. If I use this, my hair does hold a wave, like the curl still falls out, but the wave stays in. And that's because you're using a whole heated barrel versus, you can see this bit isn't heated. I mean, this, I suppose the inside of this is, but then once you wrap your hair around, this bit isn't, if that makes sense. You know, so you're only heating half your hair when you use a curling tong like that. But with this one, the whole barrel heats up. Because you've got this little clip, I still don't have to try and, you know, wrap it around. I can still clip my hair into it. But the reason I don't use this constantly is because this is so short that it doesn't hold, I can't get much of my hair in it. My hair's so thick that this takes me a long time to use this. I have to do much thinner pieces, if that makes sense. I was just thinking there, actually, if this had a long clip and this whole barrel was heated and this was heated, then that would be perfect, wouldn't it? I'll have to have a look. This is called Enrapture, by the way. And you switch it on there, just click it across, and then like I said, you can adjust these to high or low heat, and it's got this little stand as well, which is quite good. But yeah, I can't put, like, I couldn't make big curls with this because my hair just falls out and kind of gets tangled and it doesn't work. But I really like this one, and this is one that, like I said, I end up with a wave in my hair that stays versus anything else. I think that's everything to tell you about my hair. It's kind of ironic that I'm doing a hair video when my hair's up, isn't it? Or maybe it's not, maybe that's just me. I don't have my hair up like this very often. So I would love your suggestions for any volume products, for any products to help curls stay in. That's really what I want. And there are some out there, but I don't like it when they say use on wet hair. I want something that I can use, you know, spray on and then curl it, and then it's going to hold the curl. I don't know, like I said, maybe my hair is just too heavy and maybe it will never hold a curl. Even on my wedding day, the lady she used this powder, like a volumizing powder, and she said that would help, and she sort of curled it not only at the bottom, she then re-curled it at the root, and she did all sorts, and it was gone by the afternoon. But I knew that was going to happen, so I'd taken my curling tongs, and we had our own little room on the premises, and I went and recurled them in there. Kevin, it was the only time Kevin and I had to ourselves that whole day. He was chatting away to me as I was recurling my hair. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed that, and I will speak to you again soon. Oh, and wish me luck at the dentist.